Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Patriot Nation TV. I'm your host, Tim Davis, your New Age Patriot with a 1776 attitude. Just one man, one opinion. So I'm going to talk about First Amendment, free speech, and universities. So let me ask you this. Is the war on free speech, is it just beginning? Is it just beginning? Are we in the beginning stages of it? Or have we been here for a while? You got to look at it from the university and public schools point of view, using all the tools of government to make society into a utopian version. Universities have become, after decades of propaganda, enemies of intellectual freedom, individual thought, and individual speech. Excuse me. So, will the war on freedom just peter out, just disappear? Nope. Not at all. Let's look at 4 reasons why not. 4 reasons people are fed up with political correctness. They really are. You even got liberal lunatics out there like Bill Maher. He's fed up with it. Then you got conservatives like Clint Eastwood. He's fed up with it. And we are being even told today that the Canadians are fed up with it and the British are fed up with it. But so, what do you do? I'll just start off with the Canadian point. 2 Canadian magazine editors were forced to resign from their national publications this month alone because they do not believe that writing about persons other than those of one's own gender or ethnic group constitutes cultural appropriations. In other words, those editors believe in a fundamental standard of literature, the ability to imagine another person's life as opposed to writing endlessly about oneself. It's not just a local story. The war on freedom has left the campus behind and is now taking a dead aim at the life of the mind, of people's minds generally. In the case of remaking society to a far left, liberal utopian vision, universities have become, after decades of propaganda, key enemies of intellectual freedom. The spreading of propaganda is rotting our intellectual life. That bored and amused pose we so often adopt is in the face of the increasing resort to violence and cowardice. Here are 4 reasons why the war against freedom will not just somehow lose itself without our taking any action. For one, the war is irrational, but the universe remains rational. Therefore, the warriors cannot win. They must go on taking more prisoners and trampling more freedoms in the pursuit of an unattainable goal. As historian Michael Leading puts it like this: it's in the nature of campus revolts, that the leaders aren't going to be satisfied with limited reforms to schools. They are inspired by inflated rhetoric, and they see themselves at the center of a great moment in world history. We've seen it in the 60s, 70s. I mean, we definitely see it now. A moment in which the rest of us are incidentally roadkill. So they see us. As the story from Canada above shows, a current target is art and literature. Comedy that people find funny is becoming rare and rarer all the time, because only a few targets are permitted, and it is just human nature. They not be the ones people would enjoy seeing screwed, humorist, you know? Progressive academics, number 2, progressive academics are training child soldiers. to carry out the revolution against intellectual freedom. Put simply, they are teaching their rioting students attitudes, values, and beliefs that guarantee failure in work and healthy relationships. Ask yourself, would you want, as a colleague, someone who put a middle-aged woman professor at Middlebury College in a hospital? No. Then think what your answer means. In an age when most graduates face job shortages, students have been encouraged to transgress behavior must simply continue their revolution off campuses. That may be all they know how to do. Hardest hit, incidentally, will be the disadvantaged students who lack social confidence and firm guidance early in life. As so often, social justice gurus do the most harm to the people who are least able to evade them. 3. The current university system is genuinely corrupt. It is sustained on the backs of unjust labor conditions for most teachers and an unsustainable debt for many students. The classicist Victor Davis Hanson explains, part-time facility with PhDs are paid far less than tenured full professors for often teaching the same classes, and thus subsidize top-heavy administrations. And students who owe more than $1 trillion in non-forgivable loans perform poorly on tests due to poor teaching as far back as grade school. These people have good reason to be angry, but they are routinely manipulated into choosing the wrong target. People of whom their teachers disapprove, as opposed to the system that is causing their problems. 4. Traditional media are desperate. Despite their historical reputation of promoting free speech, now that they are the gatekeeper function of eroded, they have little to lose from joining a crackdown on competitors. And they are highly concentrated. Six corporations control 90% of U.S. media, down from 50 in 1983. A few companies channel news to hundreds of millions of people. Such media may be magnets for social justice warriors seeking to broader sphere of influence without interference from alternative media. How long will the war on freedom last? Who knows? I'm going to say, how long will the war on freedom last and free speech? As long as we tolerate it. We make that decision every day. And the choice grows starker every day and very day. You know? And this is a problem that we're seeing. And you got to look at it, that's why I always hearing cancel student debt. You got to look at it like this. To me, college is a racket, like any other racket. So I'm going to explain the racket of college, the college racket. Colleges are basically protected monopolies, thanks to the government. Because of this, tuition is high and could go down if only competition were allowed. Because it is so expensive, one has to borrow money from a banker, then give it to the college. Then when you graduate, you spend half your life paying back your debt. So all you young millennials out there, college students out there, don't demand lower tuition or price control. Demand competition, which naturally, in a free market, will bring down tuition costs. In just only 2 generations, 2.5 generations, 2 generations really, schools have succeeded in getting American children to turn their backs on everything they know to be true and making them believe everything they know couldn't possibly be true. Worse, We, the parents and grandparents and great-grandparents, meekly allowed it to happen. We sat idly and watched it happen. So I'm going to end it. I'm going to end it with the First Amendment. I'm going to read it. What is the First Amendment? Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of a religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or of the right for the people to peacefully assemble and to petition a government for redress of grievances. So like everything else, it's individualism against collectivism, socialism against capitalism, liberty versus enslavement, and it's up to us. The war on free speech is just beginning and gradually exceeding at rapid speeds. So that's my little take on this. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm going to sign out. Like I always say, God bless you, God bless America, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye. Take care.